This podcast contains themes that are unsuitable for younger listeners and parental guidance is advised.
It's been 30 years since they came. 30 years? No! 30 years. They took my child. 30 years. I'm gonna kill you. No! It's been 30 years since they came.
The first time I saw the man in black, oh God no. It was an interesting day to say the least. Well, what happened was, I was walking along the river, being a stupid young man, not doing anything that I should be doing, I suppose. There's me, just walking casually along this river, knowing full well that if the Anunaki come along, they'll get my worthless hide and take me up to a mothership and I'll never be seen again. But hey, I was a young stupid fool. What can you do? You're only young once, I suppose. As I was walking, I bumped into a group of Anunaki soldiers and I knew I was fucked. I really knew I was fucked. Well, what could I do? I couldn't fight them. There's 10 of them and 1 of me. And they got their superior weaponry. Oh yes, they do. They have their superior weaponry and there was fuck all I could do about it. I got beaten to the ground. They beat me, they kicked me, they even shot me in the fucking belly with one of their stun guns. And I ain't gonna fucking lie, it really fucking hurt. Oh, it really fucking hurt. It hurt that much, I fucking shit myself. Oh God, it stunk. It was like everything that was in the digestive tract just came out in one fucking go. It's awful, absolutely fucking awful. And as I was pinned to the ground and they put me into the laser restraints, I noticed something in the background. Oh yeah, it was in the background all right. There was a shadow of a man in black. He was walking closer and closer, and none of the Anunaki soldiers, none of them, not one, had seen him come. Not one of them. He was walking closer and closer, and closer still, and still no acknowledgement from them. Nothing. They just didn't know he was there. And all my friends, oh dear my friends, they were gonna be in for a fucking shock. That I guarantee. The man in black, he flicked open his trench coat and out came a shotgun. Just a double barrel. He only had 2 shots in that one. But you could tell it was gonna be a fun time. Oh yes, it was gonna be a real fun time. The man in black walked closer still. Closer and closer until he was in breathing distance of him. The shotgun was raised into the air to the back of an Anunaki soldier's head and BAM! Brains and skull and flesh went everywhere. So not only was I covered in my own shit, I was now covered in Anunaki brains and bone and blood and flesh. It looked like a masterpiece, an artistic impression of the nth degree. Oh, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Now, the next shot, the second shot, he pointed the shotgun to the knee of one of the Anunaki soldiers and blew it clean off. The leg went flying. Blood and gore went everywhere. They all got covered in blood and gore. It was beautiful. They looked so goddamn shocked. I've never seen this before. I've not once at this point in my life had I ever seen one of these reptilian motherfuckers look scared. Their eyes narrowed, and had they have been human, they would have gone pale. They would have gone pale, but no, not with their lizard green skin. No, it doesn't go pale. Not at all. Not at all. For they're not mammals. They're cold-blooded. Their skin cannot change colour because of the fluctuations in their temperature. It just wouldn't happen. There was the next Anunaki soldier who come over. He pulled his gun out, the only one of the survivors at this point who did anything about it. He pulled out his gun, his Anunaki laser gun, and it clicked. It kept clicking as though it was jammed, but no, I think he forgot to take the safety off it. And he kept clicking. He was that scared, he was that nervous, he just couldn't think straight. And then he decided he's going to throw the gun at the man in black. He hurled it at him, and the man in black just stood to one side and let it fly past him, where it hit a tree. And the man in black just walked backwards, looking at the rest of the Anunaki soldiers who were still shitting their pants. He walked back, he lowered himself down, and still not taking his gaze away from them, and he picked up their gun, the Anunaki gun. He pointed at him and let off a couple of rounds, and this Anunaki soldier's head had a hole in it, a smouldering hole, a cauterized smouldering hole. So there was no blood. There was no blood that came out. No, it just immediately cauterized as it went through. And the Anunaki soldier fell to the floor, dead. The other Anunaki soldiers, they all shit themselves even more, because only their technology can be used by them. Now, there is a slight discrepancy in this. How can a human use Anunaki technology? Well, I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how indeed. The Nephilim, the ruling class of the planet before the Anunnaki came. So politicians, kings and queens, even Hollywood A-listers, they were all Nephilim. Nephilim means children of God. They had the genetic code which will allow them to use Anunnaki technology, because they were put down on this planet to govern them, to govern the planet, to rule in their stead until the Anunnaki come back. Because the Anunnaki keep coming back once in a millennia to do a massive harvest of people so they can continue to build whatever they're building. They use humans as slaves. And they just transport a big bulk of them. They transport them off the planet every millennia, just so they got another batch of harvest. Because that's all we are to them, is harvest. And they needed a group of people that would be loyal to them to rule in their stead. And that's why they created the Nephilim. Humans with modified genetic codes, which will allow them to use their technology. Wow. It's the first time I met a Nephilim, that I tell you now. And the Nephilim, they ain't our allies. They're not. But this one is. This one is. These Anunnaki soldiers, they were so goddamn shocked. They didn't even know what was happening. It just didn't hit them. It didn't register. Did he do that? Did he use our technology on us? That means he's a Nephilim. And they work for us. They work for us. Why is a Nephilim killing people? Killing our people? That must have been what was going through their minds. And oh my friends, they were so shocked. They were as shocked as I was. But I was laughing. All I could do was laugh uncontrollably loud. Oh, I was enjoying this, my friends. I was enjoying this so much. The man in black, he walked up to the next Anunnaki soldier. He had a look at the Anunnaki gun. And I think this is where he may have noticed that he is one of them. He may have noticed before then. That I don't know. The man in black has never told me how he worked out he was a Nephilim. Not once had he ever told me personally how he worked out he was a Nephilim. But he went over, walked up to the next Anunnaki soldier and shot him in the belly. A big hole appeared, and the Anunnaki soldier screamed. He screamed in so much pain and misery. It was loud, and I laughed even harder. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Yet again, no blood, just this big hole. And then the man in black used his other hand and grabbed him by the neck. And he decided to fuck around with them so much and treat them with so much contempt. He put his gun, his Anunnaki gun, through the hole of this half-dead Anunnaki. He was crying out in pain and just started to let off burst after burst, round after round, volley after volley at the last surviving Anunnaki, until there was only one left. The man in black, he set the Anunnaki pistol to stun and shot that last surviving Anunnaki soldier in the belly once more. But this time, no hole. This time, just pain. Just pain. And he fell to the floor, rolling around in his own excrement, just like I was, in so much pain. The man in black put his shit kicker boot over the throat of this stunned Anunnaki soldier. You tell them, he said, you tell them that I'm coming for you all. You motherfuckers killed my wife. You motherfuckers stole my little child. And you're all gonna fucking die for it. He then got his shit kicker boots and pelted that motherfucker in the face. He was knocked out. He probably had a shattered jaw as well. But he was knocked out. And the man in black, he came over to me, pressed a button on the restraints, and they just collapsed in on themselves, and he took the device and put it in his pocket. He now had even more Anunnaki technology that he could use, He picked me up. He said to me, get the fuck home. Get changed. Meet me at the road bridge tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And I'm going to start your training, boy. I'm going to start your training.
Thank you for listening. Please come back next week for the next episode. If you've enjoyed this podcast, why not check out our other podcast, A Tribute to Men That Hate Their Jobs, which is a brutal but witty portrayal of working a job you hate. In this podcast, there are themes explored in which happy workers simply wouldn't understand, unless they listen to these cautionary tales from a man that lost his ideal job because of the global pandemic. Be warned that this podcast contains strong and offensive language that some listeners may not want to hear. In addition, this podcast is not recommended for younger audiences. All our podcasts are available on YouTube. Just search for the musterxmedia podcast channel. In addition, you can also find our podcasts on Amazon Music, Red Circle Podcasts, Stitcher and Spotify. We also have another YouTube channel called The X Review. This is a review and reaction channel. Not only is it on YouTube, but it is also on Brand YouTube, BitChute and Rumble. You can also find us on Facebook, Gab, Twitter and Parler. All the links are in the description below.